Stream is a go. Let's see how YouTube responds. If it's all working. If it is all working. Okay. Hey everyone, if you're watching this video, I just thought I would do a quick little stream instead of uploading a video because video editing is not my forte. So I figured I would just stream a quick update. I haven't done an update on this on the project in a while. I've done a couple live streams and I've been doing a lot of work off stream because I enjoy listening to podcasts or music that I'm not allowed to play on YouTube. So I haven't done any live streams recently, but I do want to get back into it just to show you guys what's going on. What I thought I would do today is just do a quick update as to where things are at, how things are going, and how it's all looking. So just to do a bit of a recap as to how we got here, I started working on this project. I don't know. I want to say a year ago. I don't even know the date, but I started working on it, learning a ton of stuff, brand new to game dev, and trying to figure out this whole Godot game engine thing, not knowing what a variable was, what an array was, and figuring out how this all worked. And then, unfortunately, at some point, I don't know what happened, but the project just continued to crash. And I don't know why. Even now I could bring it up and it still crashes. I'm not sure why. And unfortunately that was very unfortunate. Unfortunately, it was very unfortunate. So I kind of left it for a bit because I was bummed out that I couldn't figure out this problem. And so, but I wanted to get back into it. So what I decided was just to start from scratch. And that might sound kind of scary, but at the same time, I had learned so much, and what it gave me an opportunity to restart and rebuild from the ground up everything everything. So what I'm going to do is kind of just show you where it's at so far and the progress that's being made. So I will just play. So what I've got so far is the title screen that you see in front of you right now. And then I also have the station that's more or less in a working, it's just working now. All of the doors are there. The models are there. The sprite work is mostly done. It's like at like an alpha level, I guess. So I'm going to show you all that in a second. But yeah, so here's kind of how the title screen, where the title screen is at right now. Here we go. All right, so as you can see, let me bring down the music. You know, I'm just can I just mute this? You know what I'm gonna do? Let me restart that because I'm actually gonna bring the music out. That music is a remake, kind of like a re-envisioning of the Genesis title screen music, which if you go and listen to it, it's pretty annoying to listen to, the original Genesis one. Every YouTuber that I watch play this game, they all get like, ugh, like what is that sound that's coming out of the Sega Genesis right now? So I've took some melodic ideas from that title music and then put it into like a little remake that I did. So anyways, let's jump into this again. I'll show you kind of what I'm thinking here. So flash in, this is standard, this is from the game. All this. This noise straight from the Genesis, everyone should recognize that. So what we got going on here in the back, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a lot more stars now. They're based on a particle system, so they'll flash in and out. I've got this kind of parallax effect going on that follows the mouse, which is pretty cool. These two moons orbit this planet. Now, I don't know in the lore what planet this is. In the Genesis, there's an image of Earth, but it looks like it's the same image, but it's all red. So I'm not sure if this is supposed to be Earth down here. Anyways, yeah, I got some parallax stuff going on with the mouse. New game. You can pick a captain name, and eventually what I want to have here is some sort of additional customization options. So built into the backdrop of the database, I would say, that I've been making in the background is the capability or the capacity for kind of customizing the game values, I'd say. So eventually, instead of just picking the captain name and starting like in the original, you'll be able to pick like, I don't know, damage multipliers, or, if there's more, precious minerals, or like up the mineral density on planets. Or one other thing that's going to be part of it is to make a choice between the original planet stats versus the Genesis stats, which in a previous live stream, I discussed a little bit that in my research, I found that the statistics of the planets were different from each version of the game. So the original PC version had a certain, like a planet would have certain stats. The Commodore had different ones. The Amiga had different ones. And then the Genesis had completely different stats. So it would be a lot of work to get all 811-ish planets, get all their stats and put it into this game. That'd be a lot of work. But I was toying around with the idea that maybe I could at least get the Genesis stats in here, because I can play that online and go through all the planets and get the sensors and analysis. So that'll be part of it. Is you'll have like a factorial like expanded option customization thing where you can choose things like not auto assign, like, can you assign one crew member to every role? How should the buy and selling of items work? Because that differed from different versions of the game. And little things like that. I thought it'd be kind of cool to have a customization, like a God mode or like an easy mode or whatever. Time dilation, how time works in the game. So some customization so you can make your playthroughs a little bit different. Or alien encounters, how if it's going to be normal, if they're going to be more hostile. A whole bunch of things that have already kind of gotten the background kind of set up, ready to be supported and used in-game. So yeah, when it comes to choosing your captain name, I'm trying to see what I can do about keeping it gamepad friendly. So you hit the captain name and this little keyboard pops up. I've added a random name generator, which works for human names, Android names, ship names, TV names. We'll get to that in just a sec. And then also it will randomly generate alien names based on the alien's dialect or what do you call it? Syllology. We've got a lot of the syllables from all the aliens pulled from the original game that I have here, and I've got a little name generator, so it'll put a bunch of syllables together. So right now I can hit random here and pull up just a bunch of random first and last names. Lee Young, sure, confirm, and then you can hit start and get into it. You can do this all with the mouse, or I can just use it with my keyboard. Not using a mouse, I can use a keyboard or controller to switch between all these menus. And as you would expect, escape also works. So I go to the options, nothing in the options here. Options will be your standard like music and sound settings and whatever. So if I go to start, nothing really happens because it detects that this isn't the full game. So it just quits out of it. So that's where the title screen is at. I didn't have the music playing there because I thought it'd be kind of annoying to listen to while I'm talking. But yeah, that's the title screen with some ideas of how I'm going to enhance it in the future iterations. Now, Station World. I've had a lot of ideas for this one, and I love how it's coming together. If you watched any of the previous live streams, you would have seen this already, but I thought I would show you how it's looking so far. So, in the original Sega Genesis game, the zoom or the camera was about something like this. It was something like this far in. Yeah, it looks kind of like this, right? You're far zoomed in. Now, I've increased the resolution times 2. It's like 640 by 320 or something like that. And so with that, obviously becomes more, there's more screen space. So I've zoomed out a bit. And so I had to add this top layer, this foreground. And I've recreated kind of the parallax effect from the station in the Genesis game. But I've also animated these pipes a little bit, and you'll see that in a second. Then I did some sprite work and enhanced the spaceman's walking animation. It only had a few frames, and I think I have the same amount of frames, except just made it look less. I don't know. It felt a little not rushed isn't the right word, but kind of like, okay, that's good enough. Now let's leave it and let's move on to things. What I've done in the background here is you see all these doors, and what's kind of cool is each one of these doors, you can choose for it to be any one of these what do you call it, rooms. So I can make this one the personnel room times 2. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but I thought it was kind of a fun little thing if I wanted to rearrange these doors. The background is a tile map, and so I have all these I redrew some of these tiles. So that'll be customizable and changeable if I wanted to add doors or change them around. There's also the capacity for there's these normal doors here, but then the space dock door is a little bit bigger, right? I'll soon have the capability of changing every door to a big one, or maybe I was thinking like the shipyard could also have a bigger door because you're going into, ship construction or whatever. I also need the space for the name, so that's why it says shipyard. There wasn't enough space. So I thought that'd be kind of cool. I'll be able to change the emblem, maybe rotate it so it fits. Yeah, and then the one with the keen eye will notice like, hey, there's some space down here, and so it looks like some windows. What I added in was a parallax effect, or in the background of space, and you see Earth in the background. So what's kind of happening is the station is spinning from the final what do you call it? The final sequence after you beat the game. There's kind of like a victory sequence that happens, and you can see the space station spinning above Earth. And so I thought it'd be really cool to somehow show that you are actually on a space station while you're in the starport So I'm just going to play. Let's play it. I'm going to put. I'll leave the music out. So here we are in the starport with the stars going by, and we're rotating. The toe tap is now back in there, and we've got Earth taken straight from the Genesis game. I just threw it in there just real quick. I'm going to be cleaning it up at another time. Yeah, so I've got the walking animation. So I changed it to a kind of a 4-frame animation rather than just a 3-frame animation. And you'll notice that up above the doors, as you walk into range of it to enter, the lights go green to let you know that you are actually in front of it and you can enter in. I always found it interesting in the original that those lights didn't do anything. They look like they should do something, but maybe they ran out of time or whatever. So I'm just going to go through each one of these rooms and kind of just talk about where it's at. So let's go to operations here. This menu will be expanded, so I wanted to separate notices, evaluations, and then maybe even a codex, something like information about the world itself, like descriptions of the alien races and different kind of maybe a history of the world taken from various sources I can find on the internet. Yeah, like the mission debrief that's in the Genesis manual. Maybe throw that in there. Right, just a location for information that you can read up on. So this menu here will eventually expand. But if we go to notices, boom, you can see all the stuff that you need to read is right here. So I need to add a back button somewhere down here. I kind of reworked this a bit. I think I might just go back to the original, but yeah, and then it adds in your captain's name. I thought it'd be kind of cool to have certain keywords highlighted. So Endurium is highlighted here. And then maybe captain, whenever your name is brought up, it'll like be blue or something. So I have a system set up in the background for finding keywords, which is kind of fun. And then, yeah, so that's it for that one. I need to improve the look here, but that's fine. Yeah, nothing too much to say here. All the notices are there, and what's cool is we can add in more notices. Like there can be custom notices if modders want to have some fun with that. So Each notice is triggered by a date. So the date down here is, I don't know, it does not run when you're in Starport, and it does not run in pause menus, and it doesn't run in encounters, I think. But even with that being the case from the Genesis game, I have put into the time manager a way to manipulate those values. So yeah, as the game goes on, as you progress, more notices will become available. So there's that. So let's go to the personnel room now. All right. So a few changes to this one from the OG, or the Genesis version, I should say. I always find it kind of annoying that in the Genesis version I could never see like a list of who's in my roster. So I added it on the right side, so you can always see who's over here. So let's go to recruitment. There'll be a profile picture for each. I have all this, all the textures and stuff. I just haven't put it into this version of the game. But yeah, so there's human. That's all here. And then the stats update. And then also what updates down here is like Android. I can't pick the gender because there's no gender for androids. But I thought it'd be really cool to have represented both genders, and then you can choose between them, and then it'll look different in the portrait itself. Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's the Velox. The males are like a meter tall or 3 feet, and then the females are 2 meters tall. They're really tall. So I thought it'd be cool to have that reflected in the game. Okay, so I've clicked on Eloan here. I go down to edit name, and then if I choose random, I can just click this a couple times. It'll make a random Eloan name. So you can just click this and it'll put together a random name. Confirm, and then a couple options, add crew member. Boom. And now you have Nisor whatever, Eloan. And then it shows their stats right here. So instead of having to go flip between them and kind of guess, oh yeah, who do I have on communications? What's their minimum? What's their maximum? I went back and played the Genesis game just the other day a little bit to kind of reacquaint myself with it. And again, I couldn't tell, like, after you assign or after you pick or recruit an Eloan crew member, I couldn't remember where their limits were. So this is a quick and easy way to see, like, oh, I should keep my Eloan, how would you say it, to communications and medicine, right? Okay, so let's get a Velox in here. Let's edit the name, random. Pux, Tox, Nukadaba. That's great. Let's go with that one. And then you'll be able to customize. I've got a whole bunch of different stuff already for this. And then Noctifife, let's add crew member. Boom, in there. So let's do a human, edit name. You can either put it in yourself or just randomize it. Confirm, add. Now with this whole recruitment thing, I also have a system ready in the background for hiring crew members. So these ones all start fresh at their minimum amount. But I thought it'd be really cool to have veteran crew members that become available from month to month that you can hire. So you'd pay money to bring them on. These ones are free, but you can pay money for an Eloan that maybe excels in engineering, maybe that goes beyond the 250 limit, for example, or something along those lines. I thought it'd be kind of cool. Although once you create your crew, you kind of get attached to it. So maybe that wouldn't be as popular, but we'll see. Okay, so once you're done building up your crew, go back here. Then we go to training. So this interface, all this is kind of like, again, it's kind of like alpha, or just trying to get a functioning game going. So it's not going to look too pretty. But you come over here and you click this guy. I want to train him up. Or I want to train this guy or train this guy. It says down here, training costs 500 mu per session. The species learn rate determined. So boom, you see the mu being changed down here. I want to train him up in communications. All right, so now I'm at 160 out of 250, and we move on to this guy. Bum. Train him up in science. Why not? And there you go. So that's how you train up your guys in this this spot. Then assignment. Oh yeah, so you click here, then assign. So whoever you have selected over here will be assigned. So I could just assign that guy to all those if I wanted. And maybe it's bugging out on me here. Yeah, something's bugging out, unfortunately. I'll have to check that later. There we go. Okay. Assignment. And then I want to have like captain specific bonuses that you can train up or choose so that you as the captain can decide. Maybe you're a more diplomatic captain. Maybe you're more of a war veteran, or maybe you have skill sets that you find or mods that you find that, I don't know, that can increase the ship skill sets or stats, or maybe you enhance your crew stats in some way or something like that, or like some sort of cooldown skill that you can actually use in an encounter, like, I don't know, boost morale for 10 seconds or something. I don't know. I was thinking it'd be kind of cool to have captain leveling or captain skill sets. So there you go. There's the personnel. So you got that all loaded in. Then the shipyard. Where is the shipyard at? So this is where it's going to differ just a tiny bit more from the original game. The ship modules, I've followed the kind of the UI layout of Armored Core and a little game called Chrome Hounds. Again, trying to keep it controller friendly. Right, you can choose which class you want to install over here, and then it will tell you over here how much it's going to cost. So if I go to uninstall engines, I'm going to get 900 back. In the Genesis game, you had to, if you wanted to swap your engines around, you had to go to the sell menu, then you had to sell it, then you had to go back to the buy menu, and I'm skipping all of that. Just it's one menu. You just buy what you want to buy, and if you can't afford it, it'll let you know. So if I click here, it's not letting me. But if I click here, now I'm out a whole bunch of cash. So let's go back to engines 1, class 1. It updates the stats over here. And what I'm going to have in the middle here is the visual representation of the ship, just like in all the games. The difference being is that I will have different sprites for different engine classes. So right now I only have one sprite imported into the game, so it does that for all of them. But you'll be able to see your ship go from kind of like the base model that you see at the very beginning, and then by the time you reach, mid to late game, you got a pretty cool looking, more busy looking ship. So, and then on top of that, I'm going to have an option for you to just keep it at the base model if you don't like that type of, if you don't like the look changing. So we got engines, we got shields. Now in the shields, I do have a couple different looks for it, a couple different sprites for it. So that's already changing the look of the ship as is. And again, it's just a quick little representation. This isn't a final version. One other thing I forgot to mention is like the stats are here. I don't know about you, but whenever I would buy parts in the Genesis game, I wouldn't know what I was buying, other than I just knew it was better. Right. Whereas here I kind of export, or I showcase what the differences are between these engines. So you'll see here there's a thrust amount, which is from the game, taken from the game. The endurium per coordinate that's used, the mass, and obviously the buy and trade in. So if you go to the shields, shield class 1 has 500 HP and no damage reduction. And as you go up, you can see that by the time you get to shields class 5, you got 2,500 HP, but with 50% damage reduction. So, yeah, which I think is taken from the original as well, if I recall properly. So that's there. And then on top of that, there'll be a chance through additional modifications, maybe cargo pod-like additions, where you'll be able to change the what type of weapon types the shields react better to. So maybe you have a style of shields that is better against kinetic versus energy weapons or something like that. Armor, all the stats are here. Don't have a texture for that yet, but there you go. Cargo pods. So I have some textures for cargo pods. Pretty straightforward. I have, again, built into the system for various types of cargo pods, which is kind of fun. So I have, your standard, this holds a certain amount of volume, and usually the volume's listed there. There might be something funny going on in the here, but that's fine. I'll fix that later. But different types of sizes of cargo pods. So the standard cargo pod is 10 cubed meters. I think this kilogram is wrong. It's supposed to be 10. Oh, what it is? What is it? I forget what it is off the top of my head. Anyways, this is way too light, I think. Anyways, you'll be able to buy bigger cargo pods for more room. So that's in there, and back to engines. Can't buy weapons yet because I haven't implemented the weapons system yet. That'll be a whole other thing that I'll have to handle. But the meat of it is there. So you can see on the right side, the ship is updating. So then you can do your ship name. Again, you can choose a random ship name. Bunch of just random whatevers. Call it whatever you want. Confirm. We've got the Aether Marauder. Now you go to the TV bay. The TV has all the modules from the Genesis game. That's here, including, and I'm throwing in one kind of Easter egg, kind of fun enhancement here. I'm calling flying circuits, taken from Back to the Future. I have the full animation for. I thought it would always be cool for the terrain vehicle to have like a momentary hover, or like jetpack, or like a moment where you can just hover over tough terrain or something. Maybe it uses more fuel, some sort of trade-off. But kind of a little wink about ancient empire technology circa 2015. Right, 80. So that's all there. I've got the sprites. I just don't have them imported into the game just yet. So I have all these sprites made and ready to go. So, and I've added in the capability to name the TV, which may come in handy later on, or might come into some story elements as your crew is talking to each other. You can name the TV something. The Nova Nomad. That sounds kind of cool. Let's go with that. Boom. The TV is called the Nova Nomad. Back to ship hangar. And there's ship construction as it is so far. Let's go to the trade depot. So you got your standard buy and sell. So this is a little bit different than the Genesis version. The Genesis version allowed you to buy anything, any of the elements from the world. So it had like iron and copper or tin or whatever. But I went and watched some Let's Plays of the original game, and it didn't. Those trade depots didn't have all those elements. It was like, and even from a practical standpoint, gameplay standpoint, I was like, why would you ever need to buy iron? Why is that option even in the buy menu? So I just went back to kind of the OG version of the trade depot, where there's just, the repair materials here. And then Endurium is right there. So yeah, this is all functioning as you would expect. Let's see if we can buy something here. Oh yeah, this little transactional window, which will allow you to click and drag how much you want to buy. Pretty straightforward there. And then the sell window. Pretty straightforward. And then again, you see these windows, and you got Arth passing by down below. I have to add some lights or some sort of indication that the space dock is ready. So I'm going to go into space dock. So this is the thing that I just did just this past week, and kind of finished kind of the general, again, the kind of the skeleton of what this is going to look like. So in this version of the game, the remake, the recreation of it, I thought it'd be kind of cool to have like a multi-layered launch sequence. So you have to open the doors first. Maybe there'll be like a woo, like some sort of like sound effect for the doors opening. And then after the doors are done opening, you'll get some indications as to how your ship has warmed up or it's ready to go or something. Then you hit the launch button. If you need to go back, it's your responsibility to close the doors first. So let's close those doors because I need to go back and change something on my ship. Right? Change something on the ship, blah, 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 blah. Let's open those doors again. I can't go to the launch button until the doors are fully opened. Boom. Now hit the launch. And this is more... The Genesis didn't have the countdown, but I thought it was kind of cool in the OG. And then we launch. And then, now we're heading out into the system. And that's where we're at. So, after the launch happens, it quits out of the little playthrough because there's no more game. So... all in all, I'm really happy with how things have progressed, where things are at right now. The title screen and the station world are pretty much, they're working, right? I could probably hand this demo out to someone and have them play it, right? And there's no game-breaking bugs necessarily, and you could play around with customizing your ship. I just have to put in the ship changing or update look in the shipyard or ship construction room. And then just a few little fine-tuning things, and then it's pretty much ready. Those two worlds are pretty much ready to go. So I spent a lot of time on this because the great thing about working on the station world, getting this set up, is it forced me to really make sure the back end is there, right? How do ship modules work? How do I install modules into the ship itself, and all that? And how does the cargo system work? If I'm in the trade depot, does it pull the right information from the cargo manager and all that? So I did a lot of work in the background to make, cargo management work. And just a quick thing about that. Let me just go back in here for a second. Go to the shipyard. Again, down here, you notice there's a bit of orange there. That's to indicate Endurium. So orange bar is Endurium, and then the white is kind of just general cargo. So if I go to ship modules, hopefully this works. Yeah, so I bought a cargo pod. I'm at 2 cargo pods, and I've got now another square down here to fill. The way I've set it up in the background is that each cargo pod has its own inventory, kind of like bags in Warcraft or World of Warcraft. So each one will have its own inventory. And I would like future scoping, future creeping probably, but I would like the ability for the player to be able to rearrange their inventory in any way they want. I think would be kind of cool. But for the time being, it's back kind of the more simplified version. So now that I got 3 cargo pods here, let's hope this doesn't break live as I'm showcasing this. Let's buy some aluminum. Why not? Let's buy 35 aluminum, or 4. Let's go 40-ish. Buy. Yay, it didn't work. All right, so that just means I have some work to do on that. This just worked. Just worked this past weekend. I don't know what I changed. But hopefully, in the background, let's just check this out here. Yeah, so it's registering here that there's been an update to the ship cargo. So the data in the background was updated correctly. However, it looks like this little bar that I hear, this cargo volume bar, did not update correctly. So I'll have to fix that at some point. So yeah, things like that where I just need to play test it a bit and just figure out those small little things to make sure it's all working. And then from there, I get to move on to perhaps designing the solar system world. How do we handle the ship creation? How do we handle orbits? How do I handle planet and orbit and star generation within a solar system, and all that? So yeah, that'll be a fun challenge. And especially now with the kind of new back-end database system I've been working with and setting up. It should be much easier than the first time I attempted this. So, and I've just learned a whole crap ton. So, anyways, that's it for the stream. I actually have to go, but yeah, that's where I'm at. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update as to where things are at. So, for all of you who have been supporting me and reaching out and telling me that they're looking forward to it getting done, I appreciate that. And yeah, I have a Patreon that I've been very terrible at updating. If you want to check that out somewhere, well, maybe I'll link that some other time. But yeah, that's where the project's at. Looking forward to live streaming the dev process a bit more, and moving on to the next kind of section or next step, which is developing the solar system world and hopefully being able to fly around in the Earth solar system and then have orbit and scanning and all that stuff. So yeah, thanks so much for checking out the video, and I wish you all the best. I'll be in touch. Peace.